Tonight on 2020, Kylie, 45, single and back in the charts.
I don't know how many epiphanies you have in your life, but I had one.
She talks candidly to 2020 about life, love and cancer.
I just felt like there's more to do. I'm not finished.
Also, we talk to men about domestic violence.
I call it awareness and education before it becomes accident and emergency.
Because they might just have some answers.
If you can get these used-to-be shitheads to work with other shitheads. It sounds crazy, I know, but we can get through to them.
Kia ora, I'm Sonia Wilson. We've done many stories on 2020 about family violence. We've seen the women and children who've suffered at the hands of family members and friends. Tonight, though, we're going to hear from the men. Why? Well, it's mostly the men who've committed these acts, and the stats are getting worse. This is, of course, a problem that desperately needs to be solved. Emma Keeling met a former perpetrator who believes it's men like him who can help bring an end to this Kiwi curse.
It's my fault, you know, because I'm not getting out there telling more people. There's not more of us. You know, we've been there, we've done that, you know, like give us the opportunity to go and help other men.
He's been violence-free for 20 years. But nearly every day, Vic Tamati sees the dark side of New Zealand. How bad is family violence in this country, in your opinion?
Oh, we're fucked, eh? If this carries on the way that it is, you know. It's normal.
The more times you try to leave, the worse the hiding could get.
I smashed all her front teeth out. I booted her.
How can you change a man?
I've threatened everybody that she cared about. I even told her, you know what, leave. I'll leave you alive and I'll kill the rest.
Once I got sick of beating my wife, I would start taking it out on the kids.
A man who's this violent, this damaged.
I had both my hands around her throat and strangling her.
How do we stop the violence?
The fucking wife beaters, kitty beaters, you know, well, you know, they're not worth shit. Well, we are.
Today, Vic's at Waikeria prison near Te Awamutu. But he's not here to talk to the prisoners.
I grew up as a victim of violence, and then what was done to me, I took it as my beliefs. Then when I had wife and children, violated them as well.
Vic doesn't just speak to the bad guys, he's often invited by different groups across the country, because you never know who might need help.
It's not just those ones you look at in the street and think, you know, your taxi driver, your bus driver, you know, your neighbour, your doctor, your dentist, your accountant.
Why is it important to tell your story, this story?
This is how we keep them safe. This is how we do it. I mean, as long as he's not safe, no one is. And we haven't been safe for a long, long time in this country.
Vic says it's time for men to step up.
The big ups to the Women's Refuge, because they've taken the lead on this. We men are just 60 years slow. They've been keeping the women and the babies safe from us, men. Well, now it's time for the men to stand up, take responsibility and do something about it.
Vic has a simple explanation for our high levels of violence.
If you don't know what you don't know, you'll always do what you've always done, and you'll always get what you've always got.
He's had to overcome decades of being first victim, then abuser. What did love mean to you?
It was getting a hiding, you know, because that's what my dad said. You know, this is the reason I'm giving you this hiding is because, or I'd offer, you know, this is my love for you.
As a kid, Vic cut the lawn with a machete, but if he displeased his father in any way,
Even though he hit me with the flat of the blade, the sharpened edge cut me, cut my arms and cut my legs, you know. It was normal.
and it was everywhere.
At church, at school, cane, strapped, and we all got it.
When he had a family of his own, he vowed not to do the same. Instead, the beatings he dished out he saw as discipline, not violence.
I was right and I was right.
I didn't drop kick them like my dad done to me. I'd humiliate them. I'd whack them with a hose because I thought a hose, you know, a little length of hose was better than using a machete. It's only a hose. You're not going to get the same fear of scared of getting your head chopped off with a machete. It's just a hose. Makes sense, eh? Well, it fucking made sense to me.
At the time, you didn't think this is not right?
Yeah. I kind of like satisfied myself and justified myself that it wasn't as bad. Yeah.
Now he knows how wrong he was, and that's why he helps men just like him.
Tricked you, eh? Just in case you thought it.
It all started when he was asked to be in an anti-violence ad.
My wife, my children, my victims. I mean, how sad is that? One of my daughters said to me, "Dad, you have to." And I says, "No, I don't." She goes, "You do." And I says, "Why? Why do I have to do it?" She said, "Because no one else is."
For 6 years, Vic's worked for the Campaign for Action on Family Violence. People write into the website, often with nowhere else to turn.
I'm basically losing it. I can't handle my wife, can't handle my child. I want to start bashing and I'm giving messed up ideas. I can't control I need help. I don't know where to start. Desperate, eh?
Vic also travels the country, telling his story to different groups.
So March, you're going to Trentham, Hawke's Bay, Waikaria Prison, Auckland Pacifica.
Tauranga.
There's a hui.
Cool, eh?
Yeah.
No. It's not that cool.
It's not cool that you're that busy, that you're needed that much, but at least you're there.
It's easy to judge when you see the horrific stories in the media, but Vic sees what's hiding below the surface.
They don't see someone that needs help, you know? He's just a fucking asshole, you know? Lock him up, throw away the key, you know? He's done it before. Or he's done it before because you don't know what else to do. Who the fuck was there to help him? You know? It's the same with me.
So how do you turn a violent man into a safe man? Coming up, men show us how change is possible.
So for me to look at another man with tears in my eyes saying, "Oh, help me," that was really hard.
It's not talked about enough, but it's everywhere, littered through New Zealand society. Violence. So how do we stop it? We've come to Greymouth in the South Island to ask the men themselves. Are there many places like this in New Zealand that men and their families can come to?
I know of a couple, but not something like this. We're working with Trish. She picks up the ones that nobody wants to know.
Trish has been teaching parent education for 20 years.
Then there's enough for the carrot.
Her focus is keeping kids safe. She helped set this house up as a place people could come to at any time. Many have come to Greymouth to escape their old environments.
I wanted a place where it would be safe, where you weren't judged, where it didn't matter what had happened, it was okay, we could begin to sort it. And one of my mantras is we can sort everything but a dead body. It's the only thing you can't sort.
They get given the tools and the skills to help themselves and take that responsibility, and then have a support network of other men so that you minimise that chance of them slipping up.
Vic visits 2 to 3 times a year.
He's probably non-judgmental, he loves them really, where they are. He doesn't pull any punches, he'll say it like it is.
Damien.
I'm Vic. Nice to meet you, mate.
Vic often counsels couples together.
So the answer is not to take the man away from the family.
No, it is. You take him out. Keep them safe, take him away.
To heal the past and create a safe future, he reckons that eventually you must work with the family together.
Because the dynamics of an angry man has impacted on everybody. So they've got a bit of your violence, you know, as the victims. They've picked up something from it, so a lot of work has to be done with them as well.
No one knows that better than John and wife Leanne.
I found that I had the right to lay a hand or beat her into submission. So, and you know, growing up as a little kid, that's what I saw as love.
Did you understand whether it was right or wrong?
It was just like an everyday thing, so I found it normal.
They've been married for 28 years. 17 of those John spent in jail.
Left him many times over our relationship. I was full of resentment and, you know, it led to hate and drug abuse and, you know, because there was stuff I did for him while he was in prison that was just, you know, just led me to just some really horrible places.
My belief why she's still with me is because she's scared of me. My belief.
And I think there's some truth to that, you know, because I started to believe that he could find me anywhere in the country.
Are you still frightened now?
No, I'm not. The work that I've done in the short time I've been here is kind of, I've reached a place of serenity.
It took their eldest son to make John see just how destructive their life was.
He broke down in front of me and begged me to go to rehab. And that was the turning point.
Good on my bro.
Kia ora, brother. Morning.
Here in Greymouth, they were finally given the tools to change.
Good to see you.
But this journey will take a lifetime. They know that, and so does AJ.
I've always been looking for the big fight, you know, the superstar fight. Well, got it. Here it is right in front of me.
All he's known is violence. Not so long ago, AJ nearly killed girlfriend Ashley.
I was strangling her. I had pretty much both my hands around her throat and strangling her.
He was terrified she would leave him.
So I was like, fuck, whatever, if you're gonna go, nobody else can have you. So I'll just take you out and then I'll take me out and sorted, problem over.
Did you think you were going to die, Ashley?
Yeah. There was no doubt in my mind that it was my time.
AJ wanted to change, but he didn't know how to ask for help. He found it in a police cell.
I remember sitting there thinking, I don't want this life anymore, you know, like I'm tired of this, sick of this shit. This guy, he just walked in me, he was like, what are you gonna do about this, mate? And pretty much looked up, started crying and said, I don't want this. And he said, well, we'll get you started. Get your bail and we'll take you to where I think you need to go.
Ashley, are you worried about him relapsing?
Every day I'm worried. Every time we have like a little argument now, I get worried that it's going to escalate, but it never does, because we've got the tools that we've learnt from our groups to control that. But there's always that that feeling in the back of my mind, like, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? Yeah, and I think it's always going to be there, but it will get easier and easier.
To undo all the damage, Vic says the stop violence programs offered must be longer.
I've done 38 years of violence. What the fuck is 40 weeks gonna do? All family violence programs, they should be 3 years. 1 year to uncover, 1 year to discover, and the 3rd year to recover.
Everyone's gathered to hear Vic tell his story.
Every person that I'd met in my life had all lied to me about what it meant to be a man. Smash him, bro, fucking take him out. You can take him, bro. Nah, he's just a fucking pussy. All lied to me. Every man had lied to me.
In his job, he sometimes has to relive it 2 to 3 times a day.
All those things that happened to you when you were a kid, that's not your fault. That's not your fault. Growing up, you're supposed to be loved, cared, hugged, kissed, dressed, clothed, learnt, taught, educated. Hey, but for one reason or another, I guess we never got it. But we got a lot of other things.
How do you keep going? How do you keep doing it?
Well, it's not about me, hey, it's not about me. It's about my wife and my kids, the people that I've hurt. Yeah, I've always seen it as my penance for the shit that I've done.
Men have to say to their mates, what you're doing's not okay. So at this point, family violence is still very much women's business, and it shouldn't be. Men's violence, anyway, has to be men's business. And someone said, how do we know we're winning? And I just said, well, no, we're winning when there's no woman at the table.
Vic wants to see places set up where men can go for help and an army of men like him out in the community.
I call it awareness and education before it becomes accident and emergency. That's where the difference is going to be, is if you can get these shitheads, or used to be shitheads, to work with other shitheads. You know, sounds crazy, I know, but we can get through to them. Give us a chance to work with him, you know, and then by the time he gets to court and he's still an arsehole, throw him in the can, you know. If he still wants to be that tough man, well, let him go and be with the tough boys. Is it warm with your wetsuit on?
Today, Vic's enjoying time with his grandkids. He knows he's lucky to even still be with his family. But the cycle of violence, what he calls his curse, has stopped with him. Vic's children didn't want to appear on camera, but his daughter did write something for us to read to you. There was an unhealthy fear that I had when I was young. The mental and emotional abuse is what impacted on me the most. I witnessed his violence towards my mum, brothers and sisters, and I was scared of my dad. Dad has come a long way since those days. I'm very proud of my dad for having the courage to tell his story, our story. It takes a strong person to share a private and dark part of their life. We are very proud of the work he does and the man he has become. Your family's really supportive of you and what you do.
Yep, I'm lucky. And I guess that's what I want to get through to other men, that they can have this lucky as well. You know, they just got to change, just got to start that journey of, you know, giving up the old ways.
Have you forgiven yourself for what you've done?
Yes, Christian. One day. You know how we have Monday, Tuesday? There's another day called one day. And we'll get there.
See you tomorrow, yeah.
If you need to speak to anybody or are feeling unsafe yourself, we have put the contact details of several agencies up on our Facebook page. The Women's Refuge also have an emergency number, which is 0800 733 843, or of course you can call 111. Next up on the show, we talk to the girl from Ramsay Street who's all grown up and back in the charts.
It was my life. I wore those socks. I had my hair permed like she did.
Wow. Well, when you say something like that to me, it's just, it's so touching.